I want to bring in Rose Conway-Walsh, of course, recently elected TD for Mayo. Rose, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's a bit of a strange time, and it's not something you would have expected, after the elections. Well, I suppose nobody expected this, but I'm doing okay. But like everybody else, I'm obviously concerned. I'm really glad to see you doing that program this morning, because I think it sums up as well all the people have lots of questions and queries and all this, but I have never seen so much kindness and so much care and compassion in the community, and I hope that will continue. I think this really has brought the best out certainly in all of the people that I have been talking to and communicated with over the last days and the last couple of weeks. And that can only be a positive thing.
Sure. So we've done an awful lot, and we are, in the main, exercising some caution, but we need to do more. And I think you were just making a very valid point to Sarah about the need, where possible, pay by credit card, don't use cash. Try and steer as clear as you can from the supermarket staff, because, they're vulnerable at the moment. Those kind of key messages.
That's right, and I think, we have to think of all the frontline workers. So we're thinking of people, sometimes we just think of the medical people who are doing a Trojan job right throughout our health service. But there's also the shop workers, there's the home help people as well, and all of those. So it's how we can protect people and respect people, and how we can look at them in a sense that they're human beings as well. They're trying to protect themselves and their families. So what can we do? Can we pay, as you said, by credit card? Can we stand back from them to allow the social distancing? The social distancing is about, I heard it described as 2 long strides, which I think is the best way, that everybody that we meet, we should be 2 long strides away from. So that type of thing in what we can do, and then how we can share. And I'm really glad you mentioned social media, because it has really worried me around...
I've spoken to so many people in the last 2 days who've said they've left Facebook. They don't want it. It's too much.
I think it's a good idea, but also I think it can be used for good, and I'd like to see it turned around into, like, the people who are willing to help, all of the drivers, the different people in the communities, people who've contacted me about different things, even in terms of the libraries, and the libraries being open, what can do there. If we could use social media and turn it around for the real positive messages, I think then it can serve us well in that sense. But people appointing themselves as medics and going way above and beyond their reach. I mean, I couldn't answer a medical question, nor could you or anybody else. People are trained to do that. So people speculating on it, I think, only gives rises to fear. But I'd like to see people continue with sharing positive information. I think the other thing around social media, is people often do these chain things. I'd rather people didn't do that, because then there's pressure on people. You've got to share this and you've got to share that. Let people make up their own mind.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, finally, the one thing, we're getting quite a few calls from people who've been laid off their jobs in shops and are finding it hard to get through to social welfare, or they're having all kinds of difficulties. Are you hearing that?
I am, yes, but I would ask them as well, because of the volume, and the people working in the social welfare offices as well are doing their very best. They will get to you. I know it's scary for people if people are without money, but I do feel confident that they will get to people, and that those things will be sorted out over the coming days. What I would say for us, I suppose, as political parties, we are all working together in this. There is no difference between any political party on this. We meet. I feed in. I get lots of queries every day from people, and we feed them into a central point. Then at the leaders' meeting, these are raised all of the time. So there's a system going through with people's queries. I feel confident that those things will be sorted. I am concerned as well around businesses and the support for businesses in themselves. So we are looking, for instance, for the rate holidays for the banks today. I know Pascal Donoghue is meeting the banks later on today. For the VAT referrals, all of those things have to be put in place for people as well. I feel confident that everybody and all departments are working towards putting them in place as quickly as possible, and I'd like to reassure people people off that
Yeah.
as well. But I really want to thank everybody across the board,
Sure.
and the likes of Local Link, who are changing their practices, the libraries, the Order of Malta, Brief Hindering Services, all of those people who are just doing really, really good work.
Yeah.
Nobody will be left behind.
That's for sure. Just clarify though, Rose, for people who have been laid off or put on temporary short time because of what's happening, the onus is on them, isn't it, to make the application to social welfare. What about people who have no access to a computer or no broadband facility? What should they do? I mean, my understanding is that the social welfare are asking people to make their applications solely online. Is that true?
They are, yes. So then it's a case of, if you cannot have access to the lines, then you get somebody else to do it for you. Maybe ring somebody that can do it for you or help you to do it. In that case, I can understand why people don't want, or why offices don't want queues of people going in to do it. But if you can get through to the office, get through and speak to somebody, and they will guide you from there. If you cannot get through, you do it online. There is help there in place for people to communicate. And I know people say, well, maybe I couldn't get through or somebody else couldn't get through, but they will get through. They will get through to the offices. But there are people also to help people to get on, to get online, to get their to get their claim in. I'm also very conscious of people doing their exams and leaving cert thing, and I've been contacted by a lot of people who don't have broadband in order to access the online tutorials as well, and that is something again that we're feeding up to government to try and get them to sort that.
Okay, very good. There we leave it, Rose, for now. Thanks for joining us today. And all we can say is keep safe, as we say to everybody else, and keep positive. That's Rose Conway-Walsh, TD.